Jason Wells here, and I have another training for this week for MLM Complete Package. I have a real world situation, and I have a person in our looking over our shoulder groups that asked a question on our private Facebook page, and she asked, I have a prospect that is absolutely against network marketing, has done it twice, and her biggest objection is she doesn't want to talk to her friends and family. So, what do you do with somebody like this? You know, there are a lot of people who have tried MLM before. They've had prior bad experiences, and it almost seems insurmountable to get them to see that what we're doing is different. Well, first of all, what you're doing better be different. And the reality is what this lady has come to the conclusion on is that network marketing is all done the same. And that's because 99.9% of opportunities, and when I say opportunities, I mean people within my company as well as other companies build it a certain way. And this all goes back to not following the communication training that we have and following the develop step, which is the missing piece in having success in conversations, especially friends and family. And if you want more information on that, go check out our communication course. And if you haven't bought our complete networker course, I recommend you buy that so you understand our philosophy, and then buy the communication course, because it's going to show you the right way to do things so you don't run into what this lady's run into. Now, that doesn't help us with this prospect. We need to figure out how we're going to get around what she's saying. And so the person asked me, what do I say to her? Well, what I will tell you is you have to help her see that what she's going to be doing with your opportunity is going to be different from what she's done in the past. And obviously she's going to say, well, I've heard this all before, but therefore you need to show her. So when somebody says, I don't want to do it, I'm completely against it. Okay. Tell me, what was it you did? Like, what did they tell you to do? Describe me the steps, step by step, and tell me what happened when things didn't go right and you felt like this is just not for me. I will tell you 9 times out of 10, what you're going to report is people were told to make a list of their friends and family and just go talk to them about the business. Just go pitch them on it. And like we always say in our videos, everyone loves to buy, but no one loves to be sold. So the question is, how do you build the business in a way where you can incorporate your friends and family as well as other marketing angles? And how do you make it where you build a customer base and build your team with your friends and family? Well, you wait until they're ready to hear about the opportunity or your product or service. And that's what the develop step's all about. Basically, what you have to make this prospect see is that this is the way you did it, and the only way they're going to see that is by having him sit down and step by step describing it to you. Tell me what it is. Don't battle this person on whether they should be doing MLM or not. Don't say it's different. Don't say things like, well, if I train you on how to approach your friends and family, will you do it? See, that stuff doesn't work, because she thinks when you say that, she thinks that it means something else. It means what she's done in the past. So remember, don't stray away from asking questions. That's a whole section in our communication course, asking and answering questions. You have to ask questions. You ask questions so you understand where they're coming from, what they're thinking, and how you can work your opportunity, product, or service into their situation. In this case, it's the opportunity, it's the business. So you need them to describe to you what's going on. Further, the reason why you want to ask questions and you want them to elaborate on what was going on that didn't work, they can see it for themselves, because what they're saying must be true because they're saying it. What you're saying can be totally questioned. And always remember that. That's why you have to show people. So you have her describe her experiences. Okay, tell me exactly what you did with your friends and family. Like, what were you doing? Describe it to me, and have them lay out everything, lay it out, okay, and then say, okay, if I did my business that way, I wouldn't have success either, nor would I allow myself to do it that way. And that's all assuming that they're doing it differently than what we're suggesting. And I can pretty much guarantee 99.9% of the time that's the case. So then what you describe is how we do the business. What if people were coming to you? What if you only discussed the business and the product or the service when the person wanted what you had? What if you only discussed it at that point? Would that be something you could see yourself doing if at those moments when they asked for something that you offered, that you knew exactly what to say? Now, to learn exactly what we say, our personal endorsement courses for business and customer, those are two separate courses, that teaches you what to say and to create your own product pitch or service pitch for the customer course, and the business course to do your opportunity pitch. And I hate to call it to a pitch because that sounds like a really typical MLM thing. It's really not. It's just what your word tracks on what you say to describe what you're doing. And our course teaches that. And so we've got two courses for that, and that's something you may want to look into if you're having trouble with this area. Now, keep in mind, everything that I'm doing here, really, I'm only to this point if I've asked questions and I've dug a little deeper. What probably happened here with this person who asked this question is the person said, I don't want to do network marketing. And, hats off to them for asking a few questions and figuring out why. We got to the bottom of that. Well, I don't want to talk to my friends and family. I'm completely against it. It's just not something I'm going to do. What I would have wanted to know, and I would have asked more questions. Okay, well, I completely get it. I'm just curious. What was it that you were doing that was so bad? I'm curious to how they were telling you to build the business. Describe the process. Just give me an example of some of the conversations that went really bad, that didn't go the way you would have liked. Get them to tell you everything so you understand what it is. And then if you can picture, like, on the wall you're looking at in front of you, on the left is running a movie of what they're describing, and on the right, running a movie of the way we do it. If those two things don't match, that's what you need to help the prospect understand. And so what I would do once I've compared those two movies on how they used to do it and the way we do it now, I would say, okay, you know what? I don't blame you on that, and I'm not sure they built the business the right way. Let me tell you what we do and describe the process, describe how we do the business, how, our thing is about building relationships with friends, family, and people you bump into. And we never bring up the business or opportunity or the product or service until it's appropriate, until they say something that makes it appropriate to bring up what you're doing. And so that's really the difference between doing the business the right way and the wrong way. And it's really interesting. I actually had a downline of mine, fairly new to the business, I was talking to yesterday, and he said to me, Jason, when I was going through your training and the develop step, I thought to myself, well, gosh, if I'm talking to people every day and I'm not bringing up the business, product, or service, in our case, it's a product, this is going to take forever to get momentum going. Because I'm going to have to wait for people to say something that makes it appropriate. He goes, then I started doing it. And I started asking questions of people, just being interested in what's going on with them and kind of asking them, hey, what's going on? And, just generally doing what you do in any good relationship that you have with people. And he's like, I cannot believe how many people are appropriate for our product. It's like they say things all the time that make it appropriate. And I've had a few people say some things that make the business appropriate. So, he just had to say, I was kind of going into this wondering how in the heck is this going to work? And now I completely understand what you're saying in your training. So that just proves that it works. And so what I would say to this person, and I know this person has our communication training and our endorsement trainings, is I would go back to the asking questions section and go through that again. And then when you approach the situation again, know that you need to dig a little deeper and try to get an understanding as to what they did in the past and compare it to what we're doing. And in some polite way, you got to get them to see that what we're doing is different and that they shouldn't turn their back on this industry. And MLM's a great business model. It's just, it really sucks if you're not doing it the right way. And to turn them. And what I would say for this person is, since you've already had the conversation, I would call this person back and said, I've been thinking about our conversation, and then just by doing that, that will give you an in to bring it up again and ask the questions that you should have asked in the beginning, which is, what the heck were you doing that made you feel that way about these last 2 opportunities? So that's it for this week. I hope this helps you. There's a lot of gems in this training. Really pay attention to it. And I'm telling you, if you haven't bought our Complete Networker, our communication course, or the endorsement courses I discussed, and you're having these kinds of situations happen, go get them. They're going to help you a ton.